This is the Bee25 Cinewhoop that many of my favorite FPV YouTubers has been talking about and giving good feedback. But today we are not going to be talking about the quad itself. We are going to be talking about SpeedyBee's new product, the Bee25 wireless tuning frame. Now what this does is it allows you to have your own set of models or maybe your preferred choice of flight controller without missing out on the wireless Bluetooth connection that the Buy and Fly SpeedyBee Bee25 has. Now the initial plan was to show you guys how a beginner like myself can easily build up this quad from the super detailed guide from SpeedyBee, but there was a lot of troubleshooting during the whole progress, and eventually the video data that I've gotten up was up to 700 gigabytes. So I decided to scratch that and only show you guys the important part of this build, which is also very, very important because there is something that I would like you guys to know if you are building this quad. It's super important. And also if you are seeing any changes of the flight controller during this progress and also the models, please do not mind that because at my final build, we have everything exactly the same as the Buy and Fly Bee25 except from the flight controller, which is the Axis Flying Argus F7. So let's move on with what you will get when you purchase this frame. Ta-da-da-da! So what do we have in the box? Of course, the user guide for you to learn how to assemble the whole frame. Let me just put this aside so that you can see better. We have the mid plate. We have the injection molded head for you to hold on to your VTX. In my case, it's going to be the DJI O3 Air unit. We have a bag of straps and also the UFL antennas. We have another bag of screws. Yep. Then, we have some nice drivers as well. And then, we have the wireless Bluetooth module for you to wirelessly connect to your quad. This is, I think, should be the GPS cover itself. LED! LED strip. The first time I flew my quad with LED strip on an event, everyone was like, ooh, wow, ooh. So this is gonna be cool. And then we have, this is, should be the antenna holder. Yeah, let's figure this out later. And this, I don't know what's this. We'll figure this out later as well. And of course, we have the frame. So yeah. Oh shit. First crash. Yep, we did a durability check before we even finished building up the quad. So here on, I'll be showing you guys how we connect the Bluetooth module that comes with the frame to your flight controller and also the assembly of this removable head that holds on to your VTX, the O3 Air unit in my case. Alright, before that, one note if you're building the quad, this here, the Bee25 logo and this SpeedyBee logo here is the top of the frame, so you should actually mount your AIO on the opposite side. Don't be like me because I was too stupid to realize that. Alright, so let's go on to the installation of the Bluetooth module right now. It's time to start soldering. Okay, so what you need to do to connect the Bluetooth module to your flight controller is, of course, by using the supply positive and also negative wires so that you can hook it from the Bluetooth module into your flight controller. And then depending on what connection your flight controller is using, SpeedyBee has also supplied the dongle for micro USB and also the Type-C as well. So what you need to do is connect this 6-pin connector from here into here and then back to your flight controller via the micro USB or the Type-C port. So let's go! Now the additional wires which is coming out from the 6-pin connector is the RX and TX. Blue is the RX which should go to the TX of your flight controller, and the green is the TX which is supposed to go to the RX of your flight controller. Alright, I think I have forgotten to mention in the past that the LED strip is actually connected to the Bluetooth module, and what you need to do is to run through the LED strip from the right side of the frame to the left side of the frame and then connect it to the Bluetooth module, which is going to control the LED strip as well wirelessly, and it's so freaking beautiful. Anyway, let's continue right now with the installation of the VTX head. First, we will have to remove the original O3 antenna from the air unit and replace it with the provided UFL antenna. To secure the air unit to the head, we will need to remove this 4 screw from the air unit. And to fit the air unit onto the head, you will need to run the antenna through the hexagon cutout like this. And then secure the air unit using the provided M1.6 hex screw. As for the antenna holder, you will need to fit in the antenna like this and then secure the holder to the head with the provided M1.6 by 4 mm screw. Now, to install the camera to the head, you will need to install the vibration dampener from the inside out and then secure the camera to it using the M2 by 6 screws. And the final step will be installing the head to the frame using the provided M2 by 8 screw, and voila! We are all set up. Now back to the present and to the most important part of this entire video, and especially for anyone who is trying to build this frame by themselves. So what happened was, after doing all the basic setup on Betaflight, I took the quad out for a hover test. But when I did the test, the quad wasn't flying as I expect it to fly. Number one, I got this very weird twitching issue. And then number two, I got a super hard time even landing the quad, because when I go zero throttle, the quad continues to throttle up and it continues to fly by its own. Magic. Anyway, after getting it to land, I brought it back to the workbench and I tried to diagnose every single thing. And it took me one whole freaking week to diagnose and also to finally solve the problem. So the first thing I did was suspecting it was gyro issue, so I changed the AIO. So it was from the Gap RC Taker G4 to the Argus F7. It did not solve the problem. Then I swapped out all the models that SpeedyBee has sent to me to some old models, and it did not solve the problem. So finally, as I was to send the black box data back to SpeedyBee and ask them to troubleshoot together with me, I came across a video. And here I would like to take this opportunity to do a special thank you shout out to UAV Tech Mark, because you literally helped me solve all my problems on whatever that I was doing. Now, what was the problem? The aerodynamics design of the quad, it does not allow props out configuration. So you can only fly that with props in. I would never have thought of it at all if I did not look at UAV Tech's video. So from his explanation, it was the same because of the aerodynamics design or whatsoever, yada yada yada. All I know is I'm a happy man right now. So since the problem has been solved, let's head out now and show you guys how convenient is it to use the wireless tuning feature on the quad itself. Let's go. Finally, no rain, and we have such a beautiful morning today, except from a lot of mosquito which is feeding on me right now. So let's test out the wireless tuning frame from SpeedyBee. So what I'm going to be doing right now, because this is actually running on stock Betaflight tune, and we will actually fly this around. After that, we'll land it and connect it wirelessly through the Bluetooth module via the SpeedyBee app to my phone, and then we will start tweaking with it. It's not going to be like exactly tuning thing. First, I'm going to be changing my rates, of course, and then we'll try to play around with the master multiplier sliders, because I do not know exactly how to really tune your quad. Anyway, I'll try my best to get this flying as smooth as possible. So let's go! Right, we are running on stock standard. Remember, this is stock standard. Let's do a punch. Oh, okay. There ain't much wobble. Let's try a small split S and see. What the? Stock standard? Wait. Am I really running like stock standard tune from Betaflight right now? Wow. Okay. Do I still need to tune anything apart from the rates? This is already like nice. Okay, we have a little bit of wobble there. Right, a little bit of prop wash. Wow, this guy is flying amazing. Let's just come back and land, and then we'll see what we can do. Right. Okay, now that we did our first flight, I think it's really, is it because of the frame or is it because of the builder? It flies amazingly well, even on stock standard. Right, okay, let's just connect it to the SpeedyBee app right now. So we'll enter the SpeedyBee app, and then this will actually auto-detect the first time when you actually try to connect to your quad. So I already have it here, so it's B25 frame, look at that, and click on it, go into FC tuning, enter FC tuning. And once it is connected, the LED will turn to this light thingy, yeah, this rainbow light. You can actually custom it, yes. That is the fun thing, you can actually custom all of it. So I'll just reset this, just try to calibrate the accelerometer again, in case I did not do it earlier. Entering expert mode, going into pit tuning, initializing, and then let's start with the rates. Look at the rates that we have. These are all standard, stock standard Betaflight rates. So I'm going to be changing to mine, the center sensitivity. I'm going to set it to 120 on all axes. The rates, I'm going to be lowering it down to like maybe 550. This is just close to what I am used to. 500 on the yaw axis. And what else do I need to set? Nothing else. So close this and we save. Okay, my rates is on. I'll disconnect this. And we'll try again. Let's go. Putting my cups away. Are we sure it is actually running on stock standard tune? Because it is flying extremely well. Alright, so I don't want to bore you guys while I test this out, so here's a quick one to show you guys what I did for the next few pit stops. So on this stop, I increased the master multiplier to 1.1 and the quad immediately felt better. As for the second one, I again increased the master multiplier to 1.2. I'm getting a little bit greedy here, but this time I tweak around with the dynamic idle as well to see if it can help with the slight prop wash we were having. But then I heard some higher pitch sound coming from the motor, so on the next and final tweak, I reduced the master multiplier back to 1.1 and turned on the thrust linearization, just because I want to fix the wobbly issue that I'm having while I'm doing my dives. So now let's just enjoy the rest of the flight and I will see you in a bit. saw a kingfisher and I've flown all my packs. Anyway, not that I can really chase it though. Okay, my thoughts on this particular part of the build, on the wireless tuning itself. I think it is super convenient, as you can see. For a beginner like myself especially, when you really want to understand how each slider works or how each function on Betaflight or the SpeedyBee app works, it is very convenient because you do not need to like take out the cable, plug in the USB-C to your quad and then plug it into your notebook or your mobile phone. And then remove it and then fly and then come back, plug in again and repeat the whole thing all over again. As you can see, what I did was just flying, land, connect it to the SpeedyBee app, tune whatever that I know how to tune, and then send it out flying, comes back and tune again. So it's like no hassle-free feature. I am super loving this, especially now that I'm actually really learning how to find my own rates, how to kind of tune your quads to kind of perfection. So it's my learning stage, and while I'm learning with such feature, it will really help me to understand every single slider, what does it do to the quad and how the quad behave immediately. Alright, with all that said and done, let's head to the next location where we will be doing some light painting with this guy, because the moment I power the quad up and I saw the beauty of this Meteor 2.0 LED, I was like because it's just so damn beautiful. So let's go for our light painting session right now. Alright guys, the previous time when I did it, I don't think it is that nice. Hopefully this round is gonna be super good. I guess that's it, guys. I guess that's it. Yeah, let's look at the final result. I've got like Cinewhoop to thanks to, because their video was the first one that I saw having like this drone light painting thing with the Cinewhoops, and I find it so freaking awesome. So yep, thank you Cinewhoop for such an inspiring video. And of course, to all my friends out there, Merry Christmas. I hope you're spending this holiday season with your loved ones. Stay warm, stay cozy, and of course stay happy together. Remember to subscribe. There's gonna be another content coming out really soon before we wrap up 2024 and welcome the new 2025. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Remember, subscribe.